Hi, and welcome to my Flosstube. First of all, I would like to introduce you to Xenia, who is sitting right behind me at the moment. That's the only female cat we got. The other three are males. She is the most mischievous cat I ever had. But this is actually not a video about cats. It's a video about CrossStitch, and today also a bit about sewing. The sewing of project bags. And this is my Flosstube number 7. My name is Esther. And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. Okay, so today, first I would like to start with a shout out. I would like to give a shout out to Christy's Corner. Christy is, as far as I remember, she is teaching history. And as you probably have noticed, I'm very interested in history myself. So I like her channel a lot. She also has some episodes about historical baking. And she does a lot of embroidery, and which is new to me because I only do cross stitch, but it's very interesting to see what you can do still with a needle and thread, but in a different way than cross stitch. And lately she has also begun some cross stitching. I haven't seen all her videos, so she might have shown cross stitch before. But I eventually I will catch up with all the videos. So that was a shout out to Christy's Corner. And then I had a shout out. Actually, she made, I think, 3 shout outs to me in the same videos. Okay, actually it were 2 videos, but still, it's Stitch Slit by Claire. I have only seen her latest so far. That was alive. I didn't watch it live because at that time I'm usually asleep because she lives in the States and I live here in Denmark in Europe. But I watched this video, 2-part video, and I must say I really like her sense of humor. So also here I'm trying to catch up with her videos. Okay, so as I said last time, I am now on my 10 days break for Easter. And that means that I haven't been doing a lot of stitching. Not that I didn't want to, but because I have been reorganized my stash. And I'm going to show you a little video about that later on today. Today I would also like to present you to a designer. And this time it's again a German designer. My name is Gerlinde Gebert. And I once bought a couple of, actually it was 6 or 7, Dutch cross-stitch magazines called Borduurblatt. I don't know how you pronounce that in Dutch, but I just say it the way it's spelled. And in there were some of her patterns. So I looked her up on the internet and found her website and ordered some of her books. I think I bought 6 or 7 altogether, but the other ones are for Christmas. I will show you them when we get closer to Christmas. But I would like to show you some of the patterns here. There you have a little sunflower. And she also has some of these patterns that I like, you know, geometric patterns. And that was it from this one. And then we have Frühjahrspoesie in Kreuzstich Nummer 5. and it's spring poetry in English. And she has this one. I'm not going to make this one, but the little bunnies themselves, I might do some of them. And at the top it says Frohe Ostern, that means Happy Easter in German. And she also has, I think you could do them on plastic canvas and then glue them together, and then you would have some little ornaments. And since I like bulbs, I found this one very interesting, these two very interesting as well. These books, there are also quite a lot of patterns in that I would probably not make, but still, yeah, there are some butterflies as well. And the last one looks like this. It's called Osterpoesie. That means Easter poetry. And this one with aconites. I find it very beautiful. Not that I would make the whole tablecloth, but I would definitely make it like this. And probably just make a little pillow. And also we have some snowdrops here. It looks as if the light is pretty good today. Yay! That would be nice. So that was a bit about, no, I have more. I thought I forgot something. Nice little tulips. As you see, they have table runners in Germany as well. And some bunnies. Okay, let's move on to my projects. Actually, I got 9 FFOs today. Can you believe it? 9. That's what happens when you're on a break, or that's what happens when I'm on a break. First of all, I have shown you these before, these geometric patterns that I stitched 10 years ago. I actually finished them. So this is a pillow, and this is the back side. And I made the other one into a pillow as well, with the same backside. I am so pleased that they are actually done now, fully finished. That's really nice. Of other finishes, I better show them here first. I put them into this little basket. Actually, this is a little basket that means a great deal to me, because I bought it in 1978 when I was in Bosnia-Herzegovina for the first time of my life. And I put my little pillows in here. First of all, we have this La Felicità e nelle cose che ami. Happiness is in the things you love. And I made it into this little pillow. And since I love my garden, and especially crocus, of course this had to be put on as the back, this fabric. This little one is my own design. I'm not that happy with it, but I did it without drawing anything first. I just stitched it out of my head. I closed it here, so I put on some green felt afterwards and chose a pink fabric for the backside. And I tried to make it look a bit, to get the shape like an egg. I didn't succeed completely, but never mind. And then these two from Whilst Iris Naps, her freebies. And they also got patterns behind. And again, from Whilst Iris Naps, these little 2 pillows with this cool fabric. Some of you might recognize this fabric because that's also the fabric I used for my first project bag ever. I'm going to show you the bag later on today. The last one is a freebie by Shannon Christie. She made this little bunny. Isn't that cute? I did the back stitching because the bunny is white, and without the back stitching you couldn't see it very well as the eggs, and it makes the bunny and the eggs stand out more. So she also, if you join her Facebook group, there's also a freebie with a little bunny driving a car. I haven't had time to stitch that, but never mind. There's a new Easter next year, right? Okay, that were my FFOs. So, because I spent 5 days on reorganizing my stash, yes, it took 5 days. 5 days without stitching at all, because at night time, or in the evening when I was done for the day, I was so tired I couldn't keep my eyes open for stitching, so I had to give up stitching and then just wait. I have one FO. I finished it today, and it's gorgeous, I think. It's, of course, Hello Petal by Caterpillar CrossStitch. And the light is really good today. It actually shows how the color of the fabric almost correctly. Nice. So I'm very pleased with this. And since I still got 3 days, yeah, because on Monday I have to prepare for work. So I still got 3 days, so I might get it fully finished. No promises. Let's move on to whips. As you can probably guess, I don't have many whips this time. Actually, I have 3. And of course, that's because of what I just said. The Temperature Tree by Stitching Mommy is up to date. Get down. That was Scipio jumping onto the table. I just finished March, and as you could see, the last leaf for March is actually a new color, because yesterday we had 18 degrees Celsius. That was the first time this year. And today we have 8 degrees. Spring pins and pretty things. I'm still working on this one, but I think I will soon be done with it, because yesterday I did give it a go. So yesterday I finished this, and I did this yesterday. So I will soon be there. Soon. And that's good, because even though I like the patterns, I am getting a little fed up with these patterns, because I've been working on them for such a long time. And I'm just trying to make some room here. Then there's the whip go for April. House of Christmas was one of them, and as you might recall, I finished that one in January. So I only got one whip go project for this month, plus the others that I haven't fully finished, where I haven't completed the goal yet. But this one is from Permin, a Danish one. It's Tutankhamon. I purchased this in 1993, and it was a kit and that was the only way I could get hold of this pattern. And it came with 18 count Ada, and even though my eyes were younger back then, this was way too complicated for me back then. So I've just had it lying in my stash all those years, and now I thought, now it's time. It's not for Pattern Keeper, but I have managed to take a photo of it and put it, the pattern is black and white, and put it into Pattern Keeper. It's not 100% correct. I can see the symbols and I can click on them, and therefore I can see, okay, I did do that. So that's a very big help. I only started this one today, so I didn't go that far. I think I managed about 116 stitches or something like that. Maybe we should put something under here. As you can see, it's not much, but it's a start. My goal is just 3 hours of stitching in the month called. So I already stitched for about an hour. And that was it. That was my new start. I don't have that many plans because I'm trying to decrease. Just a moment, there's a cat on the table. I don't have any plans because, as you probably saw in the beginning of this video, I am planning to join Stitzmania. So of course I do have plans. These are my Stitzmania plans. I'm going to show you later. So my only plan is actually to get more FOs out of all those whips I already have, because I have, I think, about 20. I know my hate is a big one, and I know that will take years to finish that one. So usually haul is the last thing I talk about, but not today, because that's going to be a Stitzmania. From now on, I've decided not to make any excuses every time I purchase yet another craft item. More or less bad excuses don't make anyone happy, and your hobby is supposed to make you happy, right? I have therefore decided, as from today, I now have got a second job. I am now a curator. Yep, I am now a curator of an exquisite private collection of craft supplies. So let's move on to one of the tasks of a curator. That's also the purchase, because this time it's probably the most significant amount of haul yet. But I will not show you everything, since I have not here, at least, because I have already used some of it, and some of it hasn't shown up yet due to Easter. For example, I have come up with a new storage idea for my DMC floss. Well, the 117 series, that means the normal DMC. And I will tell you more about that later. I have also used a lot of my new not a lot of, but some of my new fabrics I have used in when I kitted up for Stitzmania. And I won't show you my new purchase floss either, because that has also been used for Stitzmania kitting up, or in my has been put into my new DMC storage. And so until now I have actually just told you about all the stuff I'm not going to show you right now. So maybe I should move on to show you some of the stuff I actually want to show you now. First of all, I bought one pattern. This is from the Tiny Modernist. It's called Spring Blessings. I had hoped that I would have time to do those little carrots. I found them very cute. But that will have to wait till next year, because I'm moving away from Easter stuff now and moving into summer stuff. That means I'm not supposed to start any new starts until May, but my birthday is in August, and in one of these Dutch magazines, which I just had another glance at the other day, I found a cute little house. It's from a series with a month in it, and it says August, and I might accidentally start that pattern. So in my last video, I think I told you that we were still in lockdown. Since then, some shops have been allowed to open again, and of course I went to see the local, I wouldn't call it LNS, because okay, they do have some DMC and they do have some Ada, but that's about it. But they do sell craft items, that means fabric for sewing and some fabric for stitching and stuff like that, and a little DMC, but that's about it. And they don't have the new DMC colors. So I decided to buy some Ada. Not that I needed it, but because I wanted to support this local shop that has now just reopened. Unfortunately, they only got 14 count Ada, or 11 count, or 8 count. So I bought 1 meter of 14 count. And yeah, I don't mind stitching on 14 count, but I prefer 16 or 18. So I decided, well, if I dye it, it's probably 15 count. So I did, and this time I only used 1 color. That's not true, because I actually used 3 colors, because I used the 3 prime colors, blue, red, and yellow, and together they make brown. This is a little, that's from something I finished, and this was a leftover, and this is 16 count, and I thought, well, I'm going to dye this as well. And the same goes for this. Oops, this one, it's also 16 count. I really like this creamy kind of reddish brown color. I think it looks nice. And now 14 count. This one, I cut it up into smaller pieces, as you can see, but also pieces that are double the size of this one. And I did not dye all of them. I think I got 2 or 3 pieces left that are still white, in case I need something white. And even though they all got the same color mix, this is quite different, as you can see. It's because this one I put in more water and let it stay in the bag for a longer time, so it didn't have as much white in it as the other one. And here are the bigger ones. Maybe I should show it this way. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on it yet, but that doesn't that doesn't matter. So while I was in this shop, I also bought some fabric for sewing, but I'm going to show you that later. So what else did I buy? Not that I need to dye anything at the moment, but it's always nice to have, right? The same thing you can say about why just buy one when you can buy several. That seems to be my motto. But as you know, I am a curator now, so I'm allowed to. Floss rings, because these ones are very good for all my fancy floss. The smaller ones I use when I use fancy floss in the projects. And since I usually kit up quite a lot of projects at a time, I need more of these. Yeah, I also bought some key rings because I'm going to try to make these, I don't know how you say it, capuchons? So to put on the floss ring, like a scissor fob, but just for a floss ring instead. But the rest of the stuff hasn't shown up yet. Then I bought some Pom-Poms from Dames of the Needles. Yeah. And there's one more here. Yeah. And I have been thinking about, so how am I going to put them onto my finishes? And then I saw, I think it was Elizabeth Ann. She used, I don't know if it was exactly this tacky glue, but I happened to be able to find it, and so I bought it. Some flakies. As you can see, most of it are kind of spring colors, and I think that's very typical me, that I usually buy stuff when it's in season. And then I got some lace bands. I really like this one. As you can see, that's also very springy. And you never know when you can use something in black. And 10 meters, but that was a bargain. I don't remember how much I gave for it, but it wasn't very much. I think about 50 krona or something like that. So I also bought some buttons, but as a curator, I have pretty high standards for this exquisite collection that I'm responsible for. So these are heart-shaped black and white buttons, and I also found some red heart-shaped ones, two different kind of reds, and some purple. And then I found these stars. Yeah, some time ago I showed you, maybe that was last time, I showed them I had bought a Tassel Maker. I haven't been practicing how to use it, but I bought these. They are, this shop where I bought them, they don't want them anymore, so it was also a bargain. If you look at this, look at this color. I'm of course going to use these for tassels, because I'm probably not going to stitch with it anyway, so why not use it for tassel making? And purple tassels, that's alright by me. The DMC is slightly different, but can also be used for tassels, as you can see here. That's also a very nice color, I think. I do have one of these, but that's 45 millimeters. This one is 18, I think. I thought it would be nice to have a smaller one, because I have made my first project bag. And some of you might have seen it. Here it is. It's not flawless, but I like it very much. I used Elizabeth Ann's very, very great tutorial on how to make a bag like this, and I will link to that video in the description box. It's green on the back side, and inside it's purple, and then this fabric up here as well. And I'm very pleased with it. But this was then another rabbit hole. Thank you, Elizabeth Ann. And if you do not want... Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you something. I did buy some stitchy stash fabric. First of all, I bought this Linda Schülertuch. It's 27 count. Actually, it's almost the same color as the one I just dyed. But I bought that one. And I bought some Zweigart Ada 18 count Celadon. Greenish. I think I'm going to use this for some, what you call it, some Easter springy stuff for next year. And a Lugana even weave 25 count cream color. So okay. Now I'm done with all the directly stitching related haul, and now I'm moving on to the sewing related haul. And if you do not wish to watch that, I will put the minute down here where you can fast forward to. So, when you make project bags like this one, you need zippers. So, I bought some zippers. I didn't have any zippers before, but now I do have some zippers, I think. Most of them were actually a very good bargain. I think one like this I paid 10 kroner for, or 8. It was very cheap. Yeah, so that's why I thought, well, another rabbit hole. While watching Elizabeth Ann's tutorial, I noticed that she used clips like this. And you know, I had my sewing machine since 1980. And I've always just used these little needles. I didn't know something like this existed. So another rabbit hole, because of course I needed some of these too for all the project bags I'm going to make. And now it's time for fabric. I bought some fabric, and because I don't want it to take too long, I'm just going to show it pretty quickly. The first one are these from Artmix. I don't know if it's a fat quarter. It's 48 by 50 centimeters. I don't know if that's the half of a fat quarter. I don't know. Please let me know. I would like to know what a fat quarter actually is. And then we have this one, and this one. This. And then in this local store I found, let me see if I can show them all at one time. That will save some time. It's the same pattern but in different colors. So there's a green, a turquoise, a red one, orange one, and a blue one. And I think that would work very well if I decided to make a patchwork. I'm not used to doing patchwork, but Nicola showed how to make a panel. And speaking of those panels, I did try to do that as well. So this will probably also end up with becoming a project bag. And this one. So they are the beginning of a project bag. Okay, let's move on with the fabric. I find this one very pretty. And since I like music, of course, I needed this one. And since this is one of my favorite colors, of course, I needed this. As you can see, there's a bit of modeling in it, actually. In the summertime, I love eating cherries. And therefore, I've of course had to have this fabric. As you probably know, unless you're new here, I'm a teacher. I am teaching now for 24 years. And when I saw this fabric, I just had to have it. Because of course, I have to make myself a project bag with all these school items on it. This one, I'm really pleased that this one, it actually doesn't show the color correctly. It's more brown reddish than red. And here again we have something that looks alike but in different colors. And some little kitties. We are almost done now. And some writing. You know, when I fall down a rabbit hole, as you can see, I don't just buy 2 or 3 pieces of fabric. No. I go all in. This one I find very, very pretty. Kind of autumn-like. So I'll probably use it for autumn-related stitching. And the last one, well, I should have used it for maybe for some of my pillows, but I thought no, I'll wait and use it next year, because this one I found at Casa and I find it gorgeous. Look at all those little Easter eggs. They are so pretty, I think. We are done with the haul. Next time there will be some haul as well. But I think I have bought enough for a while now. But I'm still waiting for some of the orders to arrive. And I have decided, even though I am now the curator, blah, 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 I have decided not to buy more floss for the next couple of months, unless I need one color. But when I show you my DMC storage, I think you will agree with me that I will probably not need any colors whatsoever for the next couple of months, maybe for the next half year. You never know. Welcome back if you fast forwarded till now. I will now insert a video where I show you how I used to store my DMC, which worked all right for me at the beginning. And then of course I will show you how I store my DMC now, and then I will also give you a little, very small tour of my I will give you a short tour of this exquisite private collection of craft items, craft supplies. So have fun. I thought you might find it interesting to see how I store my yarn, my thread, my floss. As you can see, they are here in binders with the numbers. Here is one of the binders, and inside you can see I have used photo pockets. They can each hold, actually you can put in 2, but because there's floss in it, it gets too bulky, so I only put 1 color in each of them. That's why I have so many binders. And as you can see, I then have each color in one little zipper bag with a number written on it. And that has actually worked all right for me. This has been the most easy way for me to get access to my DMC. But after I began watching Flosstube and I stopped being a monogamous stitcher, and instead now I have several whips and also kit up a lot of stuff. Then it's too complicated, because I spend a lot of time taking down a binder, opening the binder, finding the floss, browsing through all this and finding the floss. And then when the stuff is done, I have to put it back again. So I have been shopping online. I got 4 of these boxes. Each one has 64 little drawers. And I think it took about 6, 7, 8 hours to make all these numbers. And not at least put in all the DMC. And it looks like this. You can see. That's it. Welcome to this part of the house. This room actually has 3 functions. My partner works from home in here. And we have a lot of a kind of a library here with some of the books, as you can see up here. And then I have my craft storage here. And that's what I'm going to show you very briefly. I'm not going to open all the boxes, because then this movie will take about 3 hours or something like that. But as you can see, I have a lot of different small boxes here. Here I have some of the DMC. And you have probably noticed that I used to have a lot more of these binders, but I found a new solution, and I'm going to show you that one. And here I have a little desk. Not that I sit and work here that much. I prefer to sit and stitch in the living room. But up here is my fancy floss and some chalk paint. And as you can see, I have now got 2 hangers. And that's, by the way, that's Fran Healy, the singer of Travis, the Scottish band. And here I have a lot of trims and fabric and more fabric and fabric dye and threads for the sewing machine and knitting back. Not that I'm very good at knitting, but I do knit from time to time, but actually usually I don't have the time because I prefer to stitch. But as you can see, I'm not running out of knitting yarn for the next 10 years. And here we have some more fabric. Down here, a lot of frames. And in this basket down here are all the already kitted up projects that I haven't started yet. And speaking about kitted up projects, here, all these are my kitted up projects for Stitzmania. In this drawer I got my Ada 11 and 14 count, as well as my even weave. found in the drawer below. I got my Ada, there's some 14 counts here as well, 16, 18 and a little bit of 20. As you can see, I'm not running out of fabric either. As I showed you before, I changed the way I storage my DMC yarn, and as you know, I got 4 of these now. The 2 others are behind, and they could just fit up there. Just fit. You might be able to see number 2 behind. And then is my yarn winder up there as well. And I'm very pleased, and I think this looks very neat. And if I move back a bit, this is my craft storage. Welcome back again. Now it's time for my Stitzmania plans. As I showed you, I have put in all, and they're all kitted up, all my Stitzmania plans. I have also made a list on which I'm going to stitch when. And as you can see, you cannot see, but the first 2 ones are reserved for the whip go. And then each day I have put 2 different designs. And then 2 days rest, or if, God forbid, that I turn ill or something else come up so I don't get to stitch on a day. All these come down here again. That means that if I had chosen Poison Jack up here, when I come down here again, I have to stitch on Casa Stregata because they belong together, as you can see. I will now take these out of this bag, and then I will come back to you. So I forgot to show you that I have actually also made like this in case I forgot how the projects look, what the projects look like. So let's start. The first choice I have to make is between Poison Jack or Casa Stregata. Today I'm not going to show you how I kitted it up because it will take way too long. But I promise you, when we get to the month of May, when Stitzmania has started, those will be the whips I'm working on, and therefore automatically I will show them here on my Flosstube. So I have to choose between those 2 the first day. On the 4th of May, I have to choose between, I have to be careful now because there's a pattern. The Black Cat or Blissfully Unaware by Hands-On Design. I will put all these patterns in the description box so you can go look for them if you find some of them interesting. On the 5th, this is kind of different because this is a haunted house trio by Waxing Moon Designs, and there are, as you can see, 3 houses. That means this one actually got 3 days, so I will start all of these patterns, but of course not on the same day. So one, yeah, you know the drill. And on the 6th, I'll have to choose between Halloween. I'm stitching by Jardin Privé, I think it's called, or what is it called? Witching Halloween This one, I think, I mean, I have chosen both bigger projects and smaller projects, and this is, of course, one of the smaller ones, because I would actually like that I will be able to finish some of them in one day. This one, it's said that it's easy. It doesn't say how long time it will probably take, but I would think about 3 or 4 hours, and then it will be done. And that's usually my stitching time every day, 3 or 4 hours. So that should be doable. On the 7th of May, I have to choose between Pick Your Poison or Cat or Lantern, which looks like this. This is also a smaller one, but as you can see, there's quite a lot of stitching in it, so I will probably not be able to do that in just one day. But my plan with starting all these, and they are all Halloween projects, is to get a lot of Halloween whips. That means that I would probably be able to finish 10 of them before it's actually Halloween. As I said in my earlier videos, I do not celebrate Halloween, but I really love the Halloween stitch designs, so I have to stitch some of them. On the 8th of May, it's Madame Chantilly, Halloween Town, or October 31st. And this one is, yeah, it's there's quite a lot of stitching actually in it, but maybe. I don't know if it's a Saturday or Sunday, because Saturdays or Sundays I sometimes stitch for 7 or 8 hours. So, the world of cross stitching did something called Things That Go Boo, and there are 4 altogether: a witch and the castle and the pumpkins, as well as an owl. I'm going to do the witch and the pumpkin as well as the owl. I'm not going to do the castle because I will do other castles. I cannot show you the owl because I only got the pattern of it here, but maybe when I get to it, because of course each of these has got their own day. So I have to choose between the witch and Something Wicked This Way Comes. Here I'm only going to make this, so it will still probably become a pillow and it will still have the same format, but I will not do all those stuff all around it, because actually I don't like it. I prefer it just to be more simple. Then we have on the 10th, we have a Halloween castle. Looks like this. And here I will show you the fabric, because mine is going to be pretty different, because I'm going to do it on this orange gray instead of the blue one. I have to choose between Halloween Castle or Shadows Whisper, this one. You know, the worst thing about picking all these patterns is that I still got a lot of patterns because I have the Readly app. So I will not run out of Halloween patterns for the first 5-6 years or so. On the 11th, it's a German one, Happy Halloween by Lindner. No, that's a pattern. So it's just the top, this one. And that's also one of the bigger ones, as you can see. So that will probably not be done this year, but at least I'll get it started. So I have to choose between that one or the 3 pumpkins I showed you before. The things that go boom. On the 12th, I have to choose between Merry Fright Night or Eek Avenue. And first I will show you Merry Fright Night. That's this house here. Later on, this one will also be one of my chosen designs. And Eek Street looks like this. Or Eek Avenue. And now I have a cat meowing, that's Felix. On the 13th, I will have to choose between Halloween and Black Cats from Solar Stitch. This one. Or October. This is a small one. It should be doable in one day. But since it's almost full covered, I'm not sure. And on the 15th, I will start one more of the houses from the Haunted House tree, which I already showed you. So these are my Stitzmania plans, and I'm looking very much forward to starting it. I haven't participated in Stitzmania before, so we have come to an end. I hope you liked my video this time. As you have probably guessed, I'm taking a little break from making those historical moments, because I did promise that I would also do something about the Danish samplers, the German samplers, like I did on the Danish samplers. But first I have to read all those German books, and I don't have the time for that at the moment, because, yeah, I will not do that until July. So I hope you are a bit patient. You're welcome to follow me on Instagram, and you're also more than welcome to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. And if you have any questions, please ask them. I will probably answer. I will answer probably most questions, depending on what the questions are about, of course. But as long as they're stitching related, I will answer them. Yeah. And happy Easter. Bye.